Okay, what's going on, guys? I'm going to show you the new snapshot that released yesterday. It's called 20W13A, and there are quite a lot of changes. The first thing is that there are now these goats. They are supposed to spawn in mountain biomes like I am in right now, but I haven't been able to find any that are naturally spawned, so I'm just going to make some. They have 8 hearts, and you can breed them using wheat, and then you get a little baby goat. It looks like that. It doesn't have horns, and they also are able to give milk. So as you can see, I'm able to get milk buckets from them, and they are able to jump quite a lot. They can supposedly jump 10 blocks into the air. I'm just going to spawn a few and see if any do that. Okay, you just saw that one. They can jump really high, and they aren't completely in the game yet because, as you can see, the subtitles in the bottom right corner don't really work. And also other stuff like the ramming of logs or the drop which they give in Bedrock Edition, like the goat horn, they aren't implemented yet, and they will probably come in another snapshot. So that's it from the goats. They also made a lot of changes to the powder snow. It now takes a bit longer to mine, but without silk touch you still can't get anything. If you go in there and take damage, they reduced the freeze time to 7 seconds and the frequency to 2 seconds, so you now get half a heart of damage every 2 seconds. And then if you have something that is on fire and goes in there, I can't get it to work. Okay, now you've seen it. If something that is on fire goes in there, then the powder snow disappears and there is a sound. And also, if you are in powdered snow, you fall down faster. So we fall down rather quickly, and before it wasn't that quickly. And stuff that's like used to heat, like a strider, they take more damage than normal freezing stuff. So, okay, we can't see him right now, but now we can just about see that he takes damage and then he dies. So he takes more damage than before because he likes warm temperatures. And skeletons, if we put them in there, they transform into strays, but this is now faster than before. They need only 7 seconds to convert compared to the 30 they needed before. And they now have this little shaking animation when they are converting, and now we've got a stray. And these guys, and also polar bears and snow golems, are now immune to the freezing effect because they are used to the coldness, so it doesn't matter for them. And there's one last thing. If you have a horse with leather horse armor, like that, then they are also immune to the freezing from the powdered snow. Okay, so concerning the caves, they made it so that in mineshafts the chains and also the pillars under these pathways are longer now, or can be longer now than before. They also made that these flat caves, which are called carver caves, are less likely to be so flat that you can't walk through. They made some changes to the noise caves, so they made mega caves like this likelier to appear. Also they increased the chance of these 1 block high pillars, which look something like that. They now generate more often. And also they said that they made these cheese caves a bit more interesting to explore. And also they made it so that you can now find these small patches of dripstone and dripstone blocks in normal caves. Where the biome isn't the dripstone case biome. As you can see, I'm in a savanna right now, but there are still these small blobs of dripstone that can be found every now and again, so you don't need to rely on the dripstone biomes for them anymore. Also, they made it so that if you are on like the transition between normal stone and deep slate, there are these deep slate blobs which can generate from heights between 0 and 16. They increased the chances of iron slightly, and they made it so that diamond ore veins have a chance to be a bit larger. They also made some changes to the new water mobs, because now Axolotls and Glowsquids can actually spawn. I didn't find any, but they can do that apparently. And the Axolotl now can attack friendly mobs like fish or the Glowsquid, and also they are able to attack monsters like the Guardian, and the attacking of hostile mobs is prioritized over like peaceful stuff like Glowsquids. And if they attack something like a Glowsquid or a fish, so some peaceful thing, that is called hunting, and this has a cooldown of 2 minutes. So, and then they added the light block. You can only get it via /give, then your name or @p, and then simply light. Then you get this light block, you can place it down. It acts like the barriers, which you can get like that, which were in the game already for a long time. So barriers, they face you, or the icon faces you, and only if you hold the item you can see them, and the purpose of barriers is to provide something that is invisible but makes it so that you cannot walk through, basically to be an invisible barrier. And now the light is a light source which is invisible if you are not holding it, so if we let go of it we will see that it disappears, but the light is still there, which is quite useful. And you can also, if we turn on the F3 screen, you can also change the brightness of these. So if you right click, the brightness goes up 1 level per click, and it goes from 0 to 15. So you can choose what brightness you want and then get that one. And perhaps you have already noticed you are able to walk just through them, and if you are in survival you can't get them, or at least if you don't have cheats you can't get them, but apparently they also work in survival, so you can change them and you can also place them, but you without cheats can't get any more of them. And then they changed some small random stuff. If you have either the flowering azalea leaves or you have a flowering azalea itself, okay, I can't place it down, wait one moment. So if you have one of these, then bees are now able to see it as a flower and get pollen from that, so that they can produce honey and also make your crops grow faster while they are flying over it. They also made it so that masons, so these guys with a stonecutter, that they now have some more traits, but I haven't been able to see them in game, so perhaps something went wrong, but there are supposed to be more traits for them and also for the wandering trader, so you can buy stuff like the dripstone from them now. Also they made it so that you can now find moss in the chest of a shipwreck, and you can find glowberries in minecarts, which are in the mine shafts you can find underground. They also added a new accessibility feature, so if you go to Options, Accessibility Settings, you now can enable a monochrome logo. So if you start the game you won't see the red screen anymore, but you will have a black background for the Minecraft, or rather for the Mojang logo. And there are really many bug fixes in this snapshot. I'm just going to show you the most important. So the end portal now has a bottom texture, so you have a texture from both sides and it's not just transparent. They made it so that if you have an axolotl in water and you take a bucket and to pick it up and put it back down, it now actually stores all the entity NVT data and doesn't so it doesn't happen anymore that it has a different color or something. So you can now actually pick up one specific axolotl and put it back down. They made it so that mobs that have leather armor no longer spin around when walking on powdered snow, because that was a problem in the previous snapshots. They also made it so that the mobs that take damage in powdered snow are no longer able to spawn in powdered snow, which makes sense. They made it so that or they fixed a bug where Endermen could, when they were to pick up a filled cauldron with either water or lava or powdered snow, and you killed them, you wouldn't get the cauldron back, so that has been fixed. And they had really many problems with textures, where there were either some half-transparent pixels in a place they weren't supposed to be, or something was mirrored incorrectly, and they now fixed all of that. And there were a lot of bug changes more, but I'm not going to tell you about everything. You can read about all the other bug changes and about the entire snapshot on the official Minecraft site. There's a blog post where there is basically listed everything that happened in this snapshot. So that was it from this snapshot video. I hope that you found this helpful and interesting, and that I didn't forget anything that was important, and perhaps we see each other again when the next snapshot releases and I have the time to make a new video about that. And also you can check out the hardcore survival series I started yesterday. I've got just one episode currently, but perhaps I will make another this week, and then yeah, I am probably going to beat the Ender Dragon eventually.